What is a bungalow colony? In 1956, the New York Times described a typical bungalow colony as an oval cluster of cottages bordering a green sward or lawn. At the opposite ends of this lawn, there was usually a day camp for children and a social hall for mothers and transient fathers. From the 1920s through the 1960s, these communities flourished in the Catskill Mountains. Every summer, hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers went up to the country to escape the muggy heat of the city. This area was also known as the Borscht Belt, and it was in its resorts, the bungalow colonies and hotels, that many famous comedians got their start and thrived. The concept for the bungalow colony comes from the Yiddish word kuchelein, or cook alone. Women would often stay all summer, while the men worked in the city during the week and came up on weekends. By the 1970s, bungalow colonies were in decline. As people moved to the suburbs and bought houses, there was less need and less money to go to the mountains. More women were working. Cheaper airfares and the new interstate highways made it possible for families to go on what seemed like more exotic vacations. And at home, you could now cool off with air conditioning and backyard pools. Most colonies closed. I had not been to the Catskills since I was a child. I knew it had changed, but by how much? I heard of one bungalow colony that was still going strong, and in many ways was a throwback to the heyday of the bungalow colony. So in the summer of 2005, I decided to drive up to New York, to Ellenville, some 70 miles north of the city. My visit was short, just a few days in August, but it allowed me to feel again what it was like to live in a bungalow colony.
This is the second time in my life where I am in a shul and a crew camera came in to make pictures. The first time, it was in 1939 in Lodz, where a crew of German soldiers came into our shul and took pictures with Motkedav. Thank God today there is a big difference. We have pictures taken by an Israeli lady, and we hope that this film will be for posterity.
My name is Hyman Abramovitz. I live in New York, and this is my summer home. It's 4 Seasons Lodge, 99 Geiger Road. We're coming here around June the 15th, and we're staying till Labor Day.
By the way, we are 25 years here.
That's exactly.
So it's 1980. I was right.
80.
I was right.
1980.
Yes.
We are a colony of 55 families, mostly Holocaust survivors.
It really started as, friends. As friends, because we were for about 20 years before in renting.
We were in the Catskill Mountains 25 years ago in different kind of colony, but we were friends. So actually 5 of us bought this colony.
Those bungalows weren't what we have now. They were dirty. There was nothing in it. The sink was no sink, and the toilet, excuse me, was dirty and everything.
We paid the original price. I don't think matters to you.
Anyway, we bought it, and I came here in May. Everybody that bought the bungalows came before. They made it nice. They fixed it up. The first year was like a family. It really, I can't explain to you.
The friendliness of the people. We are all like one family. I don't think so. In the 25 years, I had a quarrel or something with anybody here.
And you don't think in terms that we were not born to the same family, but we We are concerned with everybody, with each other's health and well-being.
Like I cut my leg, I had all the women in the hospital with me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they are very, very devoted to each other.
And you know it.
After 25 years, there was no wrinkles on their faces.
Oh,
It's beautiful. The weather is nice. The air is clean. You sleep without noise of the airplanes and the cars, like in New York.
Co ci się podoba tutaj w tej kolonii?
Everything. Everything. All the people, it's like our home.
Every night they are served coffee and cake, and they entertain themselves.
We socialize, we play cards.
Some who are not playing cards sit down and schmooze a little bit, you know.
My friend took a grandson to shul, and the rabbi was having the sermon. The kid gets up in the middle of the sermon and says, "What is he talking about?"
Years ago, we used to have parties very, very often outside, luncheons. We used to have luncheons together, especially on the side. There
Yes,
used to
we
be
did.
Saturday, we used to have the happy hour.
Right.
This used to be really beautiful times. But those were the years where everybody was younger and more of us were
younger,
alive.
yeah.
And unfortunately, so many of us are missing.
And that's how they spend the night. They used to go finish it over there, I would say 6, 7, 8 years ago, 11:30. As the time passed by, we got older, we're finishing now at 10 o'clock.
I enjoy this place because the people I love they love each other. The community is very nice, and they try to enjoy it to the rest of our life. And I hope we will have more years like this.
I call it a paradise.
we were preparing for our evening meal. We eat together.
They go in shul Shabbos. They have a kiddush, like preparing the kiddush now.
Whatever you left to make on the 2 plates.
Drie plates.
Oké, ga je maken, dat is al bereid.
Voor één is... Oké.
Ze gaan er bijna kind naar dood zijn wassen.
Here the table.
My knife.
Here the knife.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yours? Yeah. Those two.
Die stukje pastrami nog. Corned beef.
Here is corned beef.
Hier is corned beef. I have more corned beef.
Zo spruiten ze, dus het weer een ganze plate.
Okay, thank you very much.
Listen,
So now it's corned beef. I need some.
you could film it now.
How can we slice like this?
We didn't have years ago all this help because we were younger, and now some people are disabled that they have, they have help. They help Polish women that are come from Poland.
She wants to be in that picture.
That's it.
And we are waiting for the 10th man to come, because we cannot start if we don't have 10 people as a quorum. Quorum, yes. And as you can see, it's getting close to the time where we must start our services. So hopefully the 10th man will show up.
Bye bye, thank you. Thank you.
Shomrim b'nai Yisrael es a Shabbos. Lasois es a Shabbos v'drai Sangri Yisraelam. Yidesh es Yumus Adoin es a Shemai v'svuret. V'yayim Ashviyi. Shuvas v'yinufar.
Saturday night we have music and a show every Saturday night with dinner. They pay for the dinner $5 a person.
And then we
Have a
have,
show.
we have a band of music. The musicians are with us for the whole 25 years.
We have a show, an entertainer, for an hour, and 4 hours music to dance. So we gather in the casino, we are nicely dressed, and each one has an assigned table where he sits. We prepare food, and they're dancing and singing and clapping with the hands and enjoying themselves.
We get dressed to the nines.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few minutes, showtime!
It had to be you. It had to be you. Go, girl! I wanna wake up. Now shake your toes. Oh, and if I can, I'll make it there. I'll make it.
are survivors. So we didn't have families of our own.
Then I had a sister and another sister, then myself, and a brother and a smaller sister, which all of them perished during the Nazis.
How did you survive the war?
In concentration camp.
Where?
Skarżysko,
What country was it?
Poland. It was a factory of ammunition by the Polish government. And when the Germans came out into the town, they took over and they extended the factory. And they need slaves to work, so they take 1,000 people from my hometown.
It took maybe 2 years, all of them were gone.
Most of my time I was in Birkenau. I worked around the gas chambers. I saw every day what was happening when they brought in the people.
Wie bist du gewesen?
Was?
Wie bist du gewesen?
Ja, tu nicht so.
Woher hast du nicht sagen? Was hast du mal? Keine deiner Schwester gegeben? Wer?
In Russland.
Oh, he was in
Russia. He was in Russia.
I was in several camps. I was in Auschwitz. I was in Blizhin. I was in Schopau. I was working in an ammunition factory. And later they took me to Theresienstadt. And I was liberated in Theresienstadt with my sister.
I only was in one concentration camp, and it was in Czechoslovakia. And I was there from 43. We were liberated in 45.
I did not think I will survive it. I was twice picked by Mengele to go into the oven.
And my mother with the kids, they went to Auschwitz.
I was in camp, actually in the city of Częstochowa, which is unusual, but it was a munition factory.
I survived as a Catholic. I had out as a Catholic, and I had papers, and I was with my husband together.
Family, I lost, how many members? My goodness, my father. We were 6 children. 2 survived. 1 actually survived in camp. The other one left for Russia.
My parents and they were killed.
I and Karl Potak remain in the management. The rest are not there. And some of them passed away from the management. And some didn't want to have the responsibility and resigned from the management.
Hobbs is taken already. I know that. Forget about her. She wants to take anything.
I have a deposit.
I know she wants to
But
send me. Before she left, she said she's going to send me a deposit. She said, I told you. I said, but it's not in my hand. I did tell her that.
By the time in the leven next year, we'll see what and when. Probably she's going to get something. And if soon something is available, she'll be the first one to know.
Presented with heartfelt appreciation and gratitude for the 25 years of tireless efforts and devoted service to the people of our colony. Your friends of the Four Seasons Lodge.
My dear friends, I would be much happier standing here in front of you celebrating our 25th anniversary with a vision of more anniversaries to come. Unfortunately, we are in the process of selling our colony, and in 2006, God willing, will be our last year in our beautiful summer home.
And it's getting harder and harder to manage it. And the colony is in the market for sale. We're talking about $1.5 million, 2 million, around that kind of price.
We are very unhappy about it because we enjoy each other's company. We are like a big family, but the management really is tired. They can't do it anymore.
Believe me, I am standing here with a broken heart. I am sure you have the same feelings. In those 25 years, we became an extended family. Together we have shared happiness and sorrow. We surrounded ourselves with a chain of happiness. Our reputation is number one in the Catskills. Every Saturday, after a beautiful Kiddush, we were again preparing for an evening of enjoyment.
It was wonderful having them because they were so dedicated.
It's part of my life, but I can give my life for it.
I thank everybody over here for the wonderful surprise, which I really didn't know. When I'm speechless, I cannot talk too much because I'm speechless. I'm only happy that I served you for 25 years and everybody was happy. And I hope that we'll be happy till we sell everything and everything will be all right.
They were really very generous to us, and they were not paid, you know.
And this is volunteer work. We don't get paid for that.
There really isn't anybody that could
take over.
As far as I'm concerned, I cannot continue. And it's getting to be harder for everybody over here with our age.
And I also would like to add that today, when we are honoring you both, it's a big part of our life because we don't even know what will happen in the nearest future.
These people say higher management. This isn't, this is not a factory or some kind of restaurant that you say, I'm going to hire a manager and I'm going to sit.
You know, Jaime, we cannot do without you.
Besides, there are certain things like, you know, the sewer system has to be refurbished, and now they came out with a new law. It isn't passed, but it's passing, about chlorination of the water. The pool is heated, and it has to be several times a day. The water has to be tested, you know. Then again, we don't have a lifeguard at the moment, and we used to have.
You don't have swimmers.
And it's getting harder and harder to manage it. And there isn't anybody over here, I'm talking about a man who is willing to replace us. So it must come to an end.
But this is our lover's walk.
Yes.
This is so beautiful. Look what happened. Look what happened.
And we cut these trees
and
very
how many times we took out the bad ones and we replanted and we took fertilizers. My gosh, what we did in this place here, unbelievable.
We put in a lot of work.
It was worth it. It was really
worth it.
beautiful.
Oh. And now it's really
a shame.
not so
I wish
easy
they
to
wouldn't
leave
sell it. I wish we wouldn't sell it. I don't know what I'm going to do.
This